In studio from the Community Cathedral Cafe, we have with us, because they have a special fundraiser coming up on November 28th. It's called Cafe by Candlelight. Roger Wilkowski and Carolyn Tredway are with us. Carolyn is the president of the cafe board. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. It makes me sound very important.
Yeah,
Thanks.
well, you are. You are extremely, and thanks for doing this, by the way.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I mean, what a great service to community members.
It has been. The Community Cafe just obtained nonprofit status this year, so instead of Community Cathedral Cafe, it is just the Community Cafe.
Oh, okay. The cathedral's no longer.
We still do dine and prepare meals at the cathedral site, and yet in order for it to be a nonprofit, the cathedral name came out of it.
Oh, I see. That's right. What had to happen in order for it to be a nonprofit.
Pretty much.
So it's
right.
a community cafe, but held at the cathedral.
Right, and still very much associated with 12 local churches through volunteers and through financial support.
All right. Well, that's fantastic that it's become a nonprofit. Now, this special event, this is a pretty cool picture I have here. Did you bring this, or did Roger bring this?
I brought it, yeah.
That's pretty cool. I wish I would have had that to put on our website earlier.
It's not the entire picture. My printer won't work very good on my computer, and so but it does give you an idea of the dazzling beauty there.
I know, isn't that something, Carolyn? This is quite an undertaking.
It is. Actually, the American Legion on Saturday, November 28th, is filled with 25 or more tables that are exquisitely decorated for the holiday season.
You can see that right there, those that are watching on the YouTube.
We have quite a few people who outdo themselves each year on different themes, but mostly around the holiday theme.
All right. November 28th, so how can I get tickets, Roger? I'm assuming I got to buy tickets to go?
Yes, you can. You can get them from the cathedral, and we'll give the phone number here a little bit later. They're also available from the board members of the Community Cafe, and I'll read those names a little later.
Oh, okay. Do you want to give that number out right now before I head to the market update?
Sure, yeah. 334-7732.
Is there somebody there to answer right now?
There is, and the tickets are $25 per guest. Most of that money does go to the Community Cafe itself, but it's a wonderful meal.
Your board is all volunteer?
It is indeed. We only pay a small stipend to a caterer, and other than that, the whole operation is by volunteers.
And this is over at the historic Cathedral of Our Merciful Savior.
It is, in their guild house.
The first cathedral.
In America, right?
Yes, right. Exactly.
Not Minnesota, not southern Minnesota, not Rice County, but in America.
Correct.
That's why it's so historic. They get buses and buses and buses of people come look at the church all the time.
They do. Some of your listeners may be interested also in volunteering for us, so we'd like to talk even a little bit more later about the opportunities for volunteering.
Do I have to peel potatoes?
No, you don't have to.
Or mash them?
There are many different kinds of volunteer opportunities.
We'll find out about those opportunities. What a teaser that is. Carolyn's done this before, I can tell. Carolyn Tredway, the president of the Cafe Board. Roger Wilkowski is a board member of the Community Cathedral Cafe. In the Community Cathedral Cafe, I'm so used to saying, you know, that it's a community cafe.
It is.
Community cafe. I don't think John's piloting today. We'll be heading up to St. Paul for the BA Cardinal volleyball match. They take on an unbeaten Cook County team, the Vikings, up in Cook County. That's way up. Grand Marais is where they're located, up there in Cook County. I think they got snow up there now. Anyway, they're in the Twin Cities. The Cardinals are in the Twin Cities. They're meeting on the volleyball court at the Exo Energy Center. If everything's on time, now there are a couple of matches. One just got underway at 9. There's one at 11 before the 1 o'clock match. So if you had a couple of 5-setters, for example, you might not be on time. But hopefully we're on time. And if we are, we'll get underway about 12:45, 12:50, somewhere in there this afternoon for the BA match against Cook County. That'll be followed by Waterville, Elysian, Morristown, and Ada Borup. So both matches right here on the mighty 920 KDHL. Just want to remind folks about that. The 4th annual Cafe by Candlelight takes place on November 28th. Roger Wilkowski, who's a member of the Community Cafe Board, and Carolyn Tredway, president of the Cafe Board, are in studio to give us more details about this fundraiser. But before we get to the fundraiser, Carolyn, you wanted to touch on some of the volunteer possibilities for people.
Correct. We have been in existence for 6 years, first as the Community Cathedral Cafe and now as the Community Cafe. Most of our volunteers have been with us for the entirety of those 6 years, and some of them are wearing out. Some now go south for the winter. So we're always looking for new, interesting volunteers. It's a fun activity. Volunteers sign on for one time a month for about 2 hours, either as 2 hours in the morning for prep, 2 hours in the afternoon for setup for meal service, and meal service, or about a 2-hour stint for cleanup. It's easy, there are lots of fun people, and I think it's a great way for people to feel like they're serving their community in a meaningful way.
I just mentioned, Gordy, Marilyn, our daughter, and I go the 4th Tuesday, and we set up tables at 9:30. We serve about 140 every Tuesday evening, and so we put all the the tableware and so on out for that, and so we enjoy that. We also have prepared items like squash and done different things in the morning too.
Do you pretty much see the same 140 people?
No, actually we do have some regulars that come. The great thing about the Community Cafe is it is not a soup kitchen. There are people of all socioeconomic groups that come to dine together. The meal itself is primarily for those people who are in need of food, and yet we feel as though to connect them in the community and provide a respectful, lovely kind of setting for them where they can network with other people who do have resources, that it's good to have a wide variety of people. The meal is free, and yet if there are people who are able to, they can donate toward the cost of their meal.
Here's what one of the volunteers said about the Community Cafe. It isn't necessarily just for the hungry. Of course, that's one of our goals, to feed the hungry. Or those in need. It's for fellowship. You can pay for your meal, you can make a donation to help. The meals are well planned and nutritious. It's a very pleasant place, and I'd add there's live piano music at every meal.
Right. We also were established 6 years ago as a way for those volunteers to feel that they are serving a valuable and much needed position or opportunity in Faribault. And I think a lot of our volunteers really feel as though the people that are there every week, the people who are most likely food insecure or represent hunger in Faribault, are there. It might be of interest to some people to know that we don't generally think of Faribault as a community that suffers from hunger, but Hunger Free Minnesota did some surveys around the census by using census data and learned that 1,600 people per day, every day of the year, go without one or more meals, none of their choosing, in Faribault. It's a staggering number that we wouldn't expect, because hunger looks different than the starving child in Africa when you consider what it looks like in Faribault.
And just a guess, I don't want to stereotype or anything, but a majority of these elderly people?
The elderly and children are more represented by hunger than working age people. You're right.
And that's why breakfast is being offered in our schools, I know.
Correct. Right.
Our goal is to reach out to different groups in Faribault, to find the people really in need, and that's a challenge, isn't it?
It is. And much of that challenge is because individuals who are struggling financially quite often are not connected to the community, so they even know what resources are available. That's why it's nice to even be on this radio show so that the public can know if they have a friend or a neighbor that would benefit from having a meal. We would really like to have them come. The meals, by the way, community cafe meals, are served every Tuesday from 5 o'clock to 6:30. It isn't part of the community cafe, but Full Belly is another meal program that is at the same cathedral site. That is on Wednesdays and Fridays. Those meals are from 5:30 to 7.
But this fundraiser is for the Tuesday event.
It is. It is.
The community cafe. So this has been around 6 years.
The community cafe has been around for 6 years. This is our 4th fundraiser, Cafe by Candlelight.
Right. So how did the cafe get started?
I can mention a little about that. Back in 2010, remember Father Jim Sotalis?
Well, of course, I went to the Middle East with Jim.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And he was here, and he was one who called representatives from churches to meet and to form Community Cathedral Cafe. And there are 11 churches now that are helping, sending volunteers, probably, over 100, I guess, on our list of volunteers that come and help prepare the food. And so, and we're funded, and the main fundraiser, as we're talking, is this Cafe by Candlelight. We also sell fresh peaches in the summer. And we also have other support from businesses in town, from the Myrner Concert Series at the Cathedral. They have very good, very high-class entertainment. St. Olaf Handbell Choir and others that were there, and they give the proceeds to the Community Cafe. So we do have fundraising. We also have some grants and donations from the donation box every night also help to support it too.
Sure. I know some churches in town on Super Bowl Sunday donate some of their offerings to the
They do.
community cafe. I almost did it. Community cafe.
We have a highly supportive community. And one of the things that we've learned is that people don't want to support something that isn't fun. And both the Cafe by Candlelight fundraiser and volunteering at the community cafe are fun experiences. Since we're here talking about that fundraiser, there will be first at 5 o'clock, there is a tour of tables so people can go around and observe the beautifully decorated tables.
Bring your cameras.
Yeah, exactly. And many people get ideas for their own table decorating or home decorating from that. Then we serve the meal at 6 o'clock, and it's an amazingly good meal.
I know, Swedish meatballs.
Exactly.
Baby red carrots. Green beans, or baby red potatoes. Green beans and carrots, my 2 favorite veggies.
Right. And beets. You can't have a Swedish type meal without some pickled beets.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, I saw an email the other day. Somebody said, on our board, they're bringing the beets.
Right, right. Don't count me out on the beets. I won't be eating.
Yeah, I'm not a beet guy myself either.
I love them.
Anyway, it has ended up being just a really fun evening. Many times fundraising evenings are not very much fun, but this has ended up to be one of the highlights for people being able to say, now we're ready for the holiday season.
What makes it fun really too is a raffle. And we'll have some baskets on tables where we have packages of different things. Wine and food baskets. We have one of the newest businesses in Faribault, Pat's Tiki Buns gift basket from there. And we just happen to have a 1983 artist's drawing, painting of the 1983 pheasant stamp in Minnesota.
Yeah,
Framed
John's
is
got it
being
up on the
shown
camera.
on your website.
Yep, on the YouTube, yep.
Good. Okay, and This was donated by a former classmate of mine in high school at Morristown. He lives in San Antonio, Texas. He said, Roger, I've got this painting. It probably wouldn't be too much value to me down here. Can I donate it to something up here? I thought right away of the community cafe.
Sure.
And so that's going to be one of the raffle items. Some of the other items include $100, $150 cash prize, and $100. And let's see, what else we got?
Chanhassen
Go ahead.
dinner theater tickets.
Yep. We have Pampered Chef stock pot of goodies, 3 homemade pies from Trinity Lutheran Pie Makers.
Oh boy, we know they know how to make pies.
Guess I'll have one of those. Anyhow, you can buy raffle tickets also by calling the cathedral office, but board members have them too. So.
Right, and they're only $1. So you can, by the luck of the draw, win any of those fabulous prizes for as little as $1. But of course, you increase your chances if you buy more.
And you can buy them that night, and so you can go on. Say you buy 20 of them, and well, I'm after that painting, so I put my raffle ticket in that particular basket, right, and then you have a better chance of getting.
Or I buy 10 tickets and put them in that basket.
Absolutely.
I get even a better chance of
Yes.
getting the painting by Daniel Booth.
Absolutely.
There were 4 couples sitting at our table last year, and of the 4 couples, 3 of the couples won multiple times. Unfortunately, it wasn't my husband and I any of those times, but there are many different ways for people to win prizes, and they can buy those tickets ahead. They don't need to be present to win.
Geez, I missed the Caesar salad. Did you touch on the Caesar
I
salad?
did not.
Dessert of ice cream and kuhnkaka rosettes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are just staying with this whole Norwegian theme, aren't you?
Oh yeah, maybe it's Norwegian.
Meal tickets are $25 again. You want to go over how people can get those?
Yes, they can call the cathedral office, 507-334-7732, or they could call Kathy McFarland, who is working very closely, one of the co-chairs of this event. Her phone number is 507-334-3985. Or any of the board members also have the banquet tickets, or they also have the raffle tickets. And I didn't bring the list of all the board members along, but maybe between Carolyn and I, we could think of most of them.
How many are there on your board?
14.
There are 14. Right. They include Reverend Ashley Osborne, Reverend Justin Chapman from the cathedral itself, Kathy McFarland, Roger Wilkowski, myself, Carolyn Tredway, Mary Sanborn from Hope Methodist.
Don Grieseth.
Oh, no, Don Grieseth, good Trinity member.
And Kevin Rostron. Oh, and Gil Truax.
And Karen Churchill.
There you go. I've got most of them.
So,
We got 10 of them.
Yep.
That's pretty good. Gil's my neighbor. Best neighbor a human being could have, Gil Truax.
Oh, Pam Sapleka is another one. They're coming, see. Okay.
Gil and Helen are great neighbors.
right.
I'm so blessed to be there.
What we found is the kinds of people that want to do good for Faribault need to find a meaningful way to volunteer. And this is only once a month. People want to volunteer. They are more than welcome to volunteer more than once a month if they choose to. But again, we would love for them to call the cathedral office at 332-7732 if they're interested.
I would guess the thing you need most help with is cleanup.
True.
I mean, nobody likes to clean up.
I work all day, so I am unable to go during the day most of the time. So I go and I wash dishes. And the great thing is that during that time, all the volunteers who are there also get a free meal. So it's a great way to not only have your Tuesday meal taken care of, but also be able to offer good for the community.
Now, Carolyn mentioned earlier this is not a soup kitchen, Roger, so give me an example of a typical meal that you serve on a Tuesday night.
Well, I remember some, and here's one. We had roast chicken thighs and we had a mixed vegetable, and we had I think it was a Caesar salad, and we had chocolate cupcakes, and also we had some fruit kebabs where they put fresh fruit on a stick, and it goes on and on. I mean, there were really some good meals and continue to be good meals. On that subject, we do work with different groups. St. Vincent de Paul, for instance, will give us surplus food that they have, and we give that, we either use that, at a meal, or we give away food bags after the meal for people to take home. And we work with Channel 1 Food Bank out of Rochester to get lower cost food. And also some of the businesses in town donate food too. So Carolyn, you want to add something to that about food? We do have a good source of.
We do. And as much as possible, we try and provide fresh fruits and vegetables because that is one of the areas of nutrition that people who maybe don't have as much money to go out and spend on groceries kind of cut costs on. So we try and provide fresh fruits and vegetables as much as possible. Our meal this week, for instance, was Italian pasta bake that was fabulous. Garlic bread, again, Caesar salad. This week, again, we had cupcakes. So next week, however, we'll have a turkey stuffing casserole. So stop by. Your listeners and you, Gordy, are welcome. We'd love to have you.
My stomach is growling just thinking about this.
One of the things I remember, incidents, people come for companionship. I sat across the table from a fellow who came to the meal because he said, I'm going through a separation in my family. And he said, the toughest time is meal time.
I'm sure.
And I need someone to talk to. And so, right there, we talked a bit about, I knew him from before too, but it was a case where we really met a need in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily a hunger need there.
No.
You just needed companionship.
Right. There are all kinds of needs that people need met. We also have had people who have lost their job or are looking for work, and through the course of the evening, they'll have conversations with other diners and learn of job opportunities. And so that's really something that we're quite proud of, that we connect people who may not have those kinds of community connections.
If I do attend one of your meals, I can, put $10 in the hopper, right?
Or less, or more, however much.
Sure.
Yes, we welcome that. There's a donation box there every week.
Yeah, I do know that everyone's welcome to stop by.
I think we give roughly $50, or a little more, maybe $60 in the donation box every meal.
Yeah, that helps.
Definitely.
It does.
It probably doesn't cover the whole meal, but it helps.
It does.
It probably covers 30% of our food costs, roughly.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So there you go. Had to cough there, sorry. Again, the 4th Annual Cafe by Candlelight is 5:30, November 28th. You got entertainment here too?
No, we don't have entertainment.
The entertainment is the raffle.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
Father Henry Doyle will speak quite briefly about the work of the community cafe.
Well, he's entertaining himself.
Oh, love that guy.
Correct.
Right. So, again, it's a fun way to kick off the holiday season. We hope to see you there.
Yeah, just a terrific event. November the 28th. Again, tickets are $25 each. Anything else, Roger, before I let you guys go?
No, you can get your ticket by calling the Cathedral office, 507-334-7732.
Oh, I see here you got something new this year. Decorate a door. What's that?
Yeah, go ahead, Carol.
We have some people who are going to make fabulously beautiful doors that will be part of the raffle. And then the items on those doors can be taken off and placed on somebody's door at home. Great way to come up with a new decorating idea without having to do it oneself.
I was driving down Lowell Street, and there was a door sitting by a tree, said free. So I picked it up, and I took it over to Carol Hansen, our board member, or one of the board members who was in charge of this decorated door.
And this is your example at the event.
Mike Young, who used to have a decorating shop
Sure.
here in town, is doing one. There are a couple other people that are very talented at making doors look gorgeous. So hopefully people will come and buy those raffle tickets so they can win a door decorating.
Again, this is at the Faribault American Legion, the Cafe by Candlelight, Saturday, November 28th at 5:30 in the evening. And I assume that means you actually turn down the lights and
Yes,
dine by candlelight.
we do.
Sounds very romantic.
You can come at 5 if you want to, like she said, right? For a tour of it.
Right.
So make sure you get on over, folks. Take advantage of this fundraiser, because it sounds like it's a lot of fun.
It is.
And that's why they're called fundraisers. You put the F-U-N at the front of fundraiser. And keep in mind it is a fundraiser, too, when you're bidding on all those items, okay? That's what it's all about. The Community Cafe.
We try to build community, and we think that's over food is always a great way to do it.
Thanks again for coming in, Roger and Carolyn. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Awesome.